திரு அத்வானி அவர்கள் பேசும் பொழுது கைட் ஃபிளையிங் பற்றி குறிப்பிட்டார். நான் அவ்வளவுதான் பண்ணேன். நான் அலையன்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஏதோ வந்துருச்சோ வரப்போறது இன்னும் நான் எதுவும் பேசல. தயவு பண்ணி தப்பா நினைச்சுக்காது. அதெல்லாம் என்னைக்கோ டிசைடாக போக வேண்டியது. கைட் ஃபிளையிங் தான் பண்ணேன் நானும். அவருடைய பெருந்தன்மை எந்த அளவிற்கு இருந்தது என்பதை அவருடைய பேச்சில் நாம் பார்த்தோம். அவருடைய கண்ணியமும் பெருந்தன்மையும் திரு மோடி அவர்களை பற்றி பேசிய பொழுதும் சரி, தன்னை பற்றி அவர் பேசிக்கொண்ட பொழுதும் சரி, எவ்வளவு உயர்ந்த மனிதராக அவர் திகழ்ந்தார் என்பதை நீங்கள் அனைவரும் திருப்பீர்கள். இங்கே அவர் ஒன்று சொன்னார், ஒன் மேன் குரூசேடர் என்று சொன்னார். அதில் ஒரு சும்மா சொல்றாரு ஒழிய சார்க்கிசம் அவருக்கு ஒன்றும் குறைஞ்சதே இல்லை. ஒன் மேன் குரூசேடர், அதாவது தனி ஆள், இவன் பின்னாலே அவனும் கிடையாது, இவன் தனி ஆளுன்னு சொல்றாரு அவர், வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இங்க அவர் பேசும் பொழுது வீக் பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் பத்தி பேச்சு வந்தப்போ என் பின்னால இருந்தவர் கேட்டார், தேவகவுடாவோட மன்மோகன் சிங் வீக்கா அப்படின்னு கேட்டார். வீக் தான். ஏன்னா தேவகவுடா கிட்ட ஒரு தைரியம் இருந்தது. தூக்கம் வந்தா தூங்கிடுவார். மன்மோகன் சிங் தூக்கம் தான் வருது, ஆனால் தைரியம் இல்லை தூங்குறதுக்கு. அப்படியே முழிக்கிற மாதிரி பாவனை பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கார். மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி டைம் அவர் காதில் எதுவும் உழறதில்லை. அந்த தேவகவுடா கிட்ட இருந்த அந்த தூங்குற தைரியம் கூட இவர்கிட்ட இல்லையேன்னு நினைச்சா அவரோட இவர் வீக்கு தான் தீர்மானம் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியதுதான். திரு மோடி அவர்களை பேசுமாறு அழைக்கிறேன். He has now this present time, these days are very busy days for him in Gujarat. His presence is a necessity there. But in spite of it, he has accepted this invitation to be present here. I am very grateful to him for that. And I profusely apologize for having encroached on his time like this, taking advantage of my acquaintance with him. I request Mr. Modi to give his address. Thank you.
வணக்கம். அனைவருக்கும் பொங்கல் வாழ்த்துக்கள். श्रद्धेय अडवाणी जी, श्री चो रामस्वामी, dignitaries on the dais, and dear Tughlaq readers, I am happy to be here with you on the occasion of Pongal festival. I know Pongal is one of the most important festival of Tamils. In fact, it is the festival of thanksgiving for the sun god. After a good harvest on this day, I share your joy and festivity. Tamil Nadu and Gujarat share many things in common. They have many links from ancient days. People of Tamil Nadu love coffee. I too like your filter coffee. But chicory for making perfect coffee comes from Gujarat. I know you like groundnut oil. This is mainly supplied by us. Tamil women love cotton saris, and Gujarat produces maximum cotton in India. Above all, our people from Gujarat, what we call as Saurashtra, came and settled in Tamil Nadu in large numbers. They have become Tamils by heart and lifestyle and are contributing to the economy, culture, and literature of Tamil Nadu. Similarly, there is a huge population of Tamils living in Gujarat peacefully, contributing to our economy. In my own constituency, Maninagar, there are more than 20,000 Tamils. By inviting me for this function, Joe is making the social, cultural, and economic ties between Gujarat and Tamil Nadu more stronger. One more thing also is common between both states. Both are ruled by non-Congress chief ministers. Today is the 42nd anniversary of Tughlaq. I remember I was here for the anniversary celebration of Tughlaq a couple of years ago. Now I'm here again, and I consider it my proud privilege. Tughlaq is for the thinking people. It has stood by certain values. Since its launch, it has stood for truth, objectivity, and ethical journalism. My friend Ashtavdhani Cho has consistently stood for these values with courage and determination for nearly 4 decades. I need to congratulate him and Tughlaq team on this proud occasion. Tughlaq is not for entertainment. It does not cater the baser instinct in man. It deals with social and political issues. It believes that true democracy and development can be assured in only if your people are politically aware. To make right choice, good governance is the birthright of citizens. Cho for 4 decades has been fighting for good governance and corruption-free governments. Today I am here to congratulate Cho, his team, and Tughlaq on the occasion of 42nd anniversary. At the same time, I am also here to share some of the concerns that I have, not only as a chief minister, but also as a citizen of this country. What is happening in our country? The great poet and philosopher of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvalluvar, has clearly and beautifully told us what good governance. He says, Ietralum, Italum, Kathalum, Katha, Bahuttalum, Valad Arsu. Generating wealth, saving wealth, maintaining wealth, and spending it for the welfare of the people is the duty of good government. Last week, someone asked me a question. The question was that in 1950, the Indian economy was bigger than China. Today, China's economy is 3 times the size of India. What is the reason? The answer is simple. The economy did not take off because after the independence, Indian policies were not growth-oriented. It was status quo governance. It was more focused on consolidation of power and position of political party rather than consolidation and expansion of economy. the same situation continued for long. It took 40 long years for the ruling party to realize that the policies they were pursuing were not right. But that time, the rest of the world, including China, had leaped ahead. In fact, even in smaller countries like Taiwan and Korea, per capita GDP has grown 20 times in last 50 years. India has achieved only a threefold increase in the same period, even after so-called liberalization in 1991, only half-hearted efforts were made. Today, the situation is even worse. The country is passing through a very critical phase. On one hand, the expectations of the people are rising. Also, the abilities of people to fulfill these expectations are also rising. There is willingness in our people to work hard. We are a young nation, and our youth have the aspiration and the ability to scale very high. But unfortunately, there is a total lack of direction in governance at the national level. The Congress-led government at the center is at a total loss as to what is happening around the world. Moreover, as Advaniji had put it, it is the most corrupt government after independence. Rajiv Gandhi had once said that if 100 paisa is spent from Delhi, only 15 paisa reaches the common man. But this party has done little to change this situation. Many of you might feel that it is easy to criticize, but difficult to deliver. No. I am saying all this with the confidence and conviction that is all possible. I speak from my own experience and from the experience of Gujarat. Friends, year 2012 dawned upon us with the baggage of doubts and worries due to slow economic growth, increase in inflation, and growing terrorism. Corruption has reached a new heights in the UPA-led central government, all driven by vote bank politics. People have started wondering if at all there is a government at the center. Let us look at these issues in detail. First is the slowing down of the economic growth. Growth rate has come down from 8.5% per annum to 6.9% in the second quarter of 2011-12. It is due to the fact that the credibility of the present government and the center has hit rock bottom. It has been caught in a series of corruption scandals that has weakened its resolve to govern. There is no clear roadmap, no reforms to correct the slowdown. Coupled with weak leadership and intellectual bankruptcy, the UPA government is a model of indecision leading to a drop in investor confidence. The current mood of pessimism has already impacted the economy